Hello, welcome back to SDS. As you can see by the title, we are doing our official mid-season Premier League predictions. We always do this before the season starts with nothing to go off. You know, usually when we do it, the window's even still open. And obviously that's a little bit more like guesswork. But now we're doing a mid-season one. So this was a bit more, we've seen half the games be played. We've seen just over half for most teams, 20 games be played. And a lot has changed. You know, a lot has definitely changed from what we thought was going to happen before the season. Or maybe for some, maybe not much change. Man. Of course, you had Liverpool to win the league. Easy, but what was the rest of your top? What was the rest of your top six? You know,
Qatar hype.
You know, no. What was the rest?
Aye,
what's the rest?
Qatar hype. Facts. I thought this was about Qatar's coach.
Yeah. So yeah, we're going to do our mid-season Premier League predictions. What we think is going to happen. How we think the top six is going to finish from now until the end of the season. Yeah, it's going to be.
We're going to have another prediction.
It's going to be an interesting one.
Next week as well.
We're all doing our top six predictions.
We'll have another prediction next week. Well, he's going to change his prediction after a week as well.
After
United, he had United finishing fourth. Was it fourth? And then literally the following week.
Third. Yeah, it took me 1 week.
Random. Guys, I want to take our prediction
away. Fair enough. Some people are in week 20. They still haven't been able to see the light. So not you either.
Ride the storm.
So yeah, we're going to go from sixth to first. As usual, leave your comments below on what you think the league's going to finish from first to sixth in the comments now, because obviously at the end of the season, if you're correct from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 positions, you are just a very smart person, you know. So, and we need to have a chat. We need to have a chat. Yeah, exactly. You have been declared. I'll give you a sticker, so you're a smart person. But yeah, we're going to go from sixth first. It's going to be interesting to see where everyone has everyone. We'll start with sixth, and I guarantee when we get to the top 4, 3, it's going to get really interesting. In sixth place, who does everyone have?
I have two choices. 6 is the hardest one for me. Yeah, it was easier at the beginning for me. I'm torn between West Ham and United.
I've got West Ham.
I've got one of them as
Come on, you Irons.
It's between them, innit, I think.
I've got one of them. I've got United.
Yeah, I'm torn.
Where are United now? They're
torn.
8th. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna pick one, I'll go with United. But I think West Ham have been better, like by far, in the first half of the season. I just think with Man United, they're a team, especially at home. Sometimes they're a team that they just have players that can kind of make things happen. And they can grind out results. They've been awful, and they still kind of make their way with results beyond what they should be kind of at. Like I think if you get Bruno Fernandes kind of in form, Rashford in form, that's enough to carry you like past some of like the bottom, let's say 12, 13 teams. That should be enough to get you sixth. I think with West Ham, the team is very, well put together. But obviously you have some players that are going to the African Cup of Nations for them. And then also with a style that's a bit more like pragmatic, I think there's a tendency later on in the season for the wheels to kind of come off a little bit. And I think they can still perform beyond what a lot of people thought West Ham would have performed at. But I think as the season goes on, United might just have some of that individual quality to just kind of get them over lines when they've not been playing that well. But for me, it's between those two. I think West Ham have been better.
I will add to that as well. I thought Chelsea was going to bounce. Nah, I'm not going to go with my personal bias. I'm just going to be straightforward.
You're a Chelsea fan.
Chelsea fan, Liverpool fan,
City fan
these days.
I'm everywhere. You know, oh man! But the reason why I never went with West Ham is because I feel like they're gonna sacrifice the league over the. I think they're gonna go straight to the Europa League with the mindset of getting the Europa League and winning the Europa League the same way they did last season. Because last season they were around the top 11, top 12. I think around March, April they were like, you know what, the Premier League, let's just go straight all in for the Conference League. I think they ended like 16, 15.
No, I think it's the opposite. I think they were closer to there, and then like the end of the season, they kind of salvaged it. Yeah,
so I feel like they'll be going more with the mindset of let me get Europa League rather than the league, because another trophy and potentially that's going to guarantee them a Champions League spot.
Yeah.
A Champions League spot. Yeah.
So Liverpool also in that Europa League competition, so it's going to be tough for them to focus.
Exactly. The reason why I went with United is because one game a season. You mentioned they've got the difference makers.
One game a season.
The Premier League final.
I keep saying it, you know.
One game a season, wow.
Wow, football's that easy.
I keep saying it.
Who's it against?
He said this in his Girona video the other day of Girona. He said Girona are going to do really well in Spain because they play one game a season.
You win the league. You're relegated.
I keep saying it. No, they've got one game per week without having the Europa League, and Bruno, I think, is going to be a difference maker.
Yeah.
I feel like this Ten Hag, I feel like the board's going to tell Ten Hag, yo, this is your final chance. Final window. You get what you want.
They're not going to back you in this window, bro.
They got a loan spot.
Yeah.
They've got one loan spot. That's it.
I think they'll be more lenient. I feel like, you know what? Okay, we will hear it. We're not gonna reject it straight away. We'll hear a couple of options. If you give us 7, 10 options, we'll give you 1. We'll give you 2. And I think he's gonna take it, grab it, and just run with it. But I feel like top 6. I feel like
United at that level with the
It's not an
talent that they have,
achievement.
they should like 6 isn't 6
I
is
have
bad,
United
but they
finishing
should be
6th.
getting.
You got United.
I have United for another reason as well too. I think the return of Lisandro, I think the return of Casemiro.
yes.
I think those two will be big returns for Manchester United. Right?
Yeah.
And realistically, right, that's what. As bad as I think United are, 6th place should be the bare minimum for this team.
That's
Bro.
done.
It's-
It's underperforming.
Of course, but
Fourth
like,
place should be the bare minimum.
no, of course. But at this point in the season, 6th is like you'd expect that. The other 5
Yeah.
teams I think are better than them, and even West Ham. When you look player for player, I was saying it the other week. Their front 3 is better than our front 3,
By far.
even when everyone's healthy.
And their midfield 3 is kind of like better profile.
100%.
You mean the defense?
Their team is better. Even their manager.
Ariola versus Onana? No, but realistically, I agree with your point, right? I agree with your point that Rashford and Bruno are 2 players in particular that they are match winners. United have played poorly so many times, and they still find themselves 8th, which I think is fortunate.
Yeah.
Because especially Bruno.
How many points are they from 6?
3.
It's close, yeah.
Yeah, so even as bad as they've been, so I think United will finish 6th. But
Hey, the next 5-6 months for Marcus Rashford, MBE. Hey.
what? Hold on. What are you gonna say? What are you gonna say?
Hey, crucial 6 months for his career.
Why are they crucial? Because he could go on another run of crazy form. People are gonna get fooled again. They'll just repeat the same.
No one's
going
gonna
to
be fooled again after this. I feel like this. I feel like this is the decider.
You'd be
I feel like this
surprised,
is the decider.
Shaw's been getting away for 10 years, bro. The United fans are gullible, bro. Honestly.
Sorry,
They're gullible,
you're
bro.
right with that.
So, I mean, personally,
I'm looking at one right now. I'm looking at one right now.
The guy who after 1 week said I'm done with United this season is gullible. But anyways, I think they'll finish 6th, but I honestly wouldn't even be over the moon. I feel like this team, I'd rather they have no European football next year. Focus 1 game a season.
1 game a season as well.
Yeah,
1
1 game. They're spending too much time with
What is
this.
this 1 game a season thing, man?
Yeah, one game a week with a new manager.
Yeah.
the whole
Okay,
thing.
United is 6th. Most of you guys are gone for. Let's go up to
Who's
5th
yours?
now. I had West Ham.
Oh yeah, what's up?
Yeah, I just want United to just do as bad as possible in it. So
So no one has.
Also,
Make
that's not
yourself feel
outlandish.
better.
They could
Yeah.
finish lower than 6th.
that's what I'm
as well.
saying.
Like,
I
it's
think
not-
maybe they'll get 7th.
If you go based on like,
they
because I feel
work
like there's a
hard.
lot of like, oh, imagine they come back and Bruno comes back. Like, if we're being real here, what we've seen, United aren't gonna finish 6th.
Yep.
It's more expectancy that this should happen, but
Yeah.
they shouldn't have finished in 8th at this point anyway. So
I agree.
yeah,
who
yeah,
knows?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. In 5th place now, because I know we're gonna have more discussion about the top 4. So let's speed through these ones.
This one is
In
tough.
5th place,
Fifth.
this one's a bit tough, but obviously we're looking at Spurs, who are there right now. Can they break into the top 4? Obviously, Arsenal are in 4th. Villa are very high up. They're going to drop down.
I've got with my 5th pick.
NBA draft.
I've got Aston Villa finishing 5th.
That's a big drop. That's a big drop.
That's a drop.
I've got them there as well, but I think it's I feel like I might be biased just because of the fact that it's Aston Villa, and I'm just being
Facts.
honest there.
Facts.
Like, but realistically,
Nah, man,
It's
I
like
think,
Newcastle last season for me,
Yeah.
right? Everyone said Newcastle are gonna finish. They're gonna
But they
fall off.
got
They're gonna fall off. They're gonna fall. They got 4th again.
so I'm just being honest in
I
that
think
sense.
Villa will
but
get. I don't think Villa will drop out the top 4.
So who's
I
your
think
5th?
Spurs.
Yeah, I was
It's
gonna say it
between
depends
those two, though, isn't it?
I think
Yeah.
it depends on this. Spurs' injury crisis this season it's crazy, but it's also, in my opinion, due to like the way they play. If they can keep their squad healthy, I was saying at the beginning of the season, I think if they keep their squad healthy, they can actually last like in terms of the top 3 race.
Yeah.
But
sure.
if they can keep their squad healthy, I think they should finish 4th.
I might revise my. You're
But,
right. You know,
but
'cause-
bro,
yeah,
every week you get a new injury, bro. Van de Ven, Romero,
but that's
Madison.
that's as in-
Bentancur.
that's expected for Ange's like
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
first seasons. Like at Celtic, it was the same thing. The way they train to play this high intensity
Yeah.
football, they get a lot of injuries through their training. It's not only their games.
Mm-hmm.
Like it almost looks like it's
It's high
like
intensity
bad
football.
luck,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's kind of part and
That's what I'm saying. For
parcel.
me, it's not bad luck. It's like it's expected, and
Yeah.
I'm expecting more to come. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
but
And with Son out,
yeah,
Madison's still out.
yeah. But I think if they
Timo
keep-
Werner
yeah.
can push them into the top 4. Wow.
I feel like no.
Wow, big silence.
I
No,
feel
no,
like,
you know what? I actually like him.
I feel like you would.
I feel like I tweeted saying I think this is a good move for both parties.
I like him, but I also like guys that are just a bit misunderstood. Guys like if they don't score, if I see their role, if I see
That's him at Chelsea.
That's misunderstood.
He's misunderstood at Chelsea.
Jesus
misprofiled.
Christ.
Do you know what I mean?
Misprofiled how? What's his profiling?
In Germany.
Yeah, Jesus.
No, you know what? I think he makes sense as a loan option to come in as a winger.
I agree.
That's fine. And the way that they like play kind of direct, he can push their opposition's defensive line back. I think it makes sense. And then he frees up Richarlison to play in the middle. Johnson, I think, is a good player. I think they have good players.
Coolio,
but I
obviously,
think,
Kulusevski's there as well.
yeah, and he's been playing almost like a bit more
10.
central this season. I like him in there. I think all of those things are very valid. I do agree with the point that might sway me away from putting them fourth is the injuries. Because if Son's gone and they don't find rhythm and their injuries are sort of, persistent, then I think that dictates where they
Son's
finish.
gone. Obviously, Sar's injured anyways, but he would have gone to the AFCON.
And are they the kind of team that are going to
And
grind
Bissouma.
out wins in the tail end of the season? Like, Ange is going to go complete 180 on his philosophy.
If
Yeah.
all of those guys come back, I think they can
Oh, then of
finish
course, yeah,
solidly.
yeah, they
like
play the way
top
they want
three
to.
almost.
But I'm saying, like, if these injuries persist, and like I look at United last season where they had injuries and they were basically stumbling across the finish line.
Yeah.
They had enough players, and even the manager, I think they adapted to like just get over the line. Like
Yeah.
Spurs, do you see that if they're like in and around those positions with all those injuries and just continuing playing this high line, do you think that's a team that can get over the line?
I think where they are at the moment is like they're very sort of like strung out on injuries and they're still maintaining sort of a
that's
good
true.
level.
That's true.
I think if they're at that level, it's fine. But anything more than this, I think they'll slide down the league. I think they need guys in attack that can do the business. I think defensively, almost you're relying on a really good goalkeeper and you're relying on the fact that you can almost outscore some opposition to the fact that you'll kind of succeed. I think that's all fine. It just depends on, with Son out, can they succeed and will they get any more injuries in their attack?
Yeah, I
If
agree.
those things sort of don't affect them, then I think they're sort of
should
solid.
go
for fourth.
Before, I mean, obviously, we're speaking a lot about Spurs, but you guys both had Villa. You guys all had Villa finish fifth.
I had Villa finish fifth.
Yeah, Villa finished fifth.
I
Yeah,
might
Villa
put them
finished
fourth
fifth.
I think I
after
have
this
Villa
chat.
fourth.
I'll
Yeah,
put
because I have
them
Villa
fourth.
fourth. So right now we're talking about both Villa and Spurs. Because
Yeah.
I'm guessing everyone's got Villa and Spurs fourth and fifth.
Yeah.
We spoke a lot about Spurs. Why do you guys think Villa are going to finish fifth? Oh, you said you might change it. Why
The
do you have
reason
Villa
why
finishing
I-
fifth?
it mainly
Dropping down that far, by the way.
It comes down with the history of Unai Emery. I think whenever I've checked his record with Seville and with Villarreal, whenever he's in a more advanced,
Even Arsenal.
with Arsenal as well. Whenever he's advanced in Europe, he always sacrifices the league and concentrates
yes.
on getting that.
Yes.
And I've
I'm
seen
surprised
it.
I'm surprised you didn't mention Arsenal. He literally did just that.
Yeah, I don't want to. I mean, get you.
PTSD.
Yeah, no, it's coming back. It's coming. But I genuinely can't believe what he did. I still can't believe it.
I've seen it.
We were like comfortably fourth,
Yeah.
right? We were obviously in the latter stages of the Europa League. We're on our way to the Europa League final. Obviously, there's two routes to get into the Champions League: finish in the top four or win the Europa League. He'd rather win the Europa League, of course, because he's the greatest Europa League manager ever.
Yeah.
Bro, I think in a week we had 3 games. I can't remember exactly what it was. Obviously,
Right,
it's
and I
confused.
remember
We had
it was
Brighton, we had Palace, we had another one, right? We lost all 3. He played like Carl Jenkinson. Like, he played like the weirdest team because he wanted to prioritize Europa League.
Yeah.
We lost all 3 games in the space of a week, by the way.
Yeah.
Went on, obviously, to get to the Europa League final. Obviously,
It's
he wants
a team
to
that already qualified for the Champions League, by the way,
again,
Chelsea.
yeah. And then we lost to Chelsea in the final.
4-0. That was a 4-1.
4-1. Alex
4-1.
Iwobi.
4-1.
We lost 4-1 to Chelsea in the final, so we didn't get the Champions League for that, and we dropped out the top 4 because we lost all 3 games in the week. We were comfortably in the Champions League spots, bro. Comfortably.
You know, when I hear guys, like, obviously...
I couldn't
everyone-
believe it
That's
till
why
now.
Arsenal fans hate Emery.
Yeah, I was literally
Till
gonna say
now,
that.
I
When
can't
hear
believe
people
it.
talk about Emery and
No, it was that. It was
They got
that period.
crazy
that,
PTSD,
yeah,
bro.
and Arsenal fans
No,
go
that
back at
one,
him.
and they always talk about the game against
that would
Watford
get
where you
me
guys got
vexed.
outshopped like 30-1 or some shit like
I
that.
still
Yeah.
can't believe it. But yeah, go on. So that's why you think it's going to drop all the way down again.
That's my pick. No,
History's
because
gonna repeat
I've
itself.
seen it with. I went back and checked his Villarreal thing. Villarreal and Seville. Whenever he's from December till Jan, he's always doing well in the league. And whenever he feels like his team is far advanced in Europe, he's like, you know what? I could actually win it. And for him, he's got the fairest argument to say that because he's the greatest Europa League manager.
He's not even in the Europa League, he's in the Conference League.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
I mean,
bro,
Europe. I mean, Europe. When it comes to Europe,
It's
he's
called
the-
Europa Conference League, actually.
Conference League, yeah.
Mastermind season 2.
The more you know, man. The more you know, bro.
So you enter it. How about that?
The more you know.
I'm awful.
I'll see you there.
I don't even know our own scores. Ask me tactics, present moment. Yeah, passed. Oh, long day for me.
Yeah, trivia is different.
He's going to ask you, like, what is the build-up style called when you...
yeah. After cater
3-2 block.
Go on. So that's why you haven't finished in 5th?
One being that reason, and yeah.
And you haven't finished in 4th? So Spurs in 5th like me?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've done Spurs and Villa. So 5th, have you changed it officially or are you keeping it Villa?
I'm basically listening to both your arguments. I'm going to go Villa 4th just
Spurs
because
5th.
I don't trust the injuries.
So Spurs 5th, Villa 4th.
Yeah.
Spurs 5th, Villa 4th. Myself, Spurs 5th, Villa 4th. And you got
Aston
Spurs
Villa
4th, Villa 5th. Okay, cool. Now we're getting into the top 3. This is what we're going to spend a bit more time discussing because it's going to be super interesting.
And I really want to start with one person. I want to start with Sharky.
Why do you want to start with
Who
me?
do you have finishing 3rd?
Who do I have finishing 3rd? I've got Liverpool finishing 3rd.
Huh?
Yeah, man. I've got Liverpool finishing 3rd. What's funny?
He wasn't expecting that.
No. Hey.
Yeah, I respect it.
Wait, no. Hold on. Don't respect it.
No, I respect it.
No.
All right, go on.
Why are you respecting it for? No, don't respect it. Don't respect it. Hold on. I know you. I'm familiar with your game back. Are you really saying Liverpool's going to finish 3rd? Or do you have another team finishing 3rd?
My prediction is Liverpool going to finish 3rd.
Let him land, bro. Give your reason, though.
I feel like
I support Arsenal.
I feel like for real.
My favorite team is
I feel like he was just about to say, Liverpool.
Yeah, I think Liverpool going to finish 3rd. I think the top 2 teams in the Premier League, obviously City and Arsenal, and have been so. We were saying they're the best 2 teams maybe in the world. And I think we've had an unfortunate... Oh, you're obviously asking why more because of Arsenal, right? I think we've been very unfortunate for the first half of the season because things have been not working out the same in terms of finishing our chances. I think tactically we've still been good. I think we've got a lot right, but this season we just can't put the chances away. I think even if you look at recent games, obviously we're in bad form right now, very bad form. It kind of feels, you know what is it? It's painful. It's definitely painful, but it's like, it's good pain because it's like, oh my God, like I haven't felt this in a while. It's like,
are you a masochist, bro?
a little bit. I'm like, no, there is it.
Sex masochism.
I might be because a little bit of me is like, I haven't felt this in a while. Like this, like we bro, my whole life, all I know is like pain.
This is crazy defense of like, I'm glad we're losing.
This is good.
No, I'm not glad we're losing.
Pain is crazy.
I'm not glad we're losing. I'm not glad we're losing, but it's like, you need that little bit of a reality check. I was like, you know, because...
I agree.
Because obviously as a City fan, and obviously as a United fan up until 2013, all you guys knew is, and Real Madrid fan as well, all you guys know is winning. I come from a background of an Arsenal fan where I missed that period of winning and we were like always struggling. And then last year I was in Dreamland. So
you're missing the struggling.
So a little bit, I'm like, oh, okay. But I'm not.
You're a sicko.
I know. I'm a sicko. I'm a sicko. I'm obsessed with failing. I'm obsessed with failing. I'll say it because obviously I love just figuring out how to like succeed after failure. Right? After failure comes success. Hopefully, anyways, if you think correctly. That the success is coming. Now it's like now I'm like, cool. How can Arteta now change this? How can we as a team change this? I look at like performance over results a lot of the time. I think performances we're doing. There's a lot of wrong. There's a lot going wrong.
But I agree with you.
Yeah,
I think
there's a lot wrong. But I think performances we've been good. Like in terms of like chances created, shots, and all of that stuff. We've been pretty good. We're just not putting them away. So I think I tweeted. It came up again the other day. I tweeted couple months ago. We're 2 signings away from winning a treble. That's what I said, right? And that's when we're winning. We're top of the league when I tweeted that. So it's like I'm not changing my stance. I still think the squad has a lot good here. Suddenly, all the players that we were praising last year aren't suddenly the worst players in the world. Saka's not this terrible player that you're trying to picture him to be, paint him to be. And Martinelli's not this awful player everyone's saying he is. He's not. Odegaard's still doing pretty well recently. He's actually want to be one of our bright sparks. Our defense, we'll talk about how good our defense has been. I think there's a little bit of an issue, and I think hopefully what we do in January, even if it's just bringing one player in that can just freshen up the squad a little bit, and then hopefully what Arteta can do. I'm not telling you why I've got Arsenal, but I've got them in the top 2 clearly. I still think there's better to come for the rest of this season. I don't think we're going to get worse. I think we're going to get better. I clearly trust Arteta. Maybe it's delusional, but I trust Arteta to be as a good enough coach to get us to improve from this point. I don't think everything's suddenly gone tits up. I think there's a bit of an issue, but I do trust Arteta. I do trust our squad. And with Liverpool, the reason I've chose them to drop down a little bit, I feel like they've been slightly overperforming slightly. And I think with all things, balance comes. And I think it's going to balance out a little bit. And I think City, of course, second half of the season, they become City. And I feel like this season, especially after how we experienced what happened with our second half of the season, how we tailed off a little bit, I think with that memory and all of that trauma, I think we're going to deal with it better this season. I think second half will have a slight push as well. Second half of the season, we'll know how to deal with it better. I'm not telling you where I think Arsenal are going to be yet, but I think we're going to be stronger second half of the season. I think City are inevitably going to be stronger second half of the season, and I think Liverpool will slightly fall off. And on top of that, a little bit of Arsenal bias in there as well.
I can't lie. I hear your point about Liverpool overachieving a little in terms of the way they play, but that's also why I don't have Liverpool finishing third. I have them finishing a little higher because I even think the days where they were winning the league, I honestly felt even at times they were overachieving a little bit in terms of overachieving in terms of they weren't playing the best football I've ever seen them play. Yeah. But the thing with Liverpool, right? And it was probably short-sighted of me anyways, the way I was judging them last season and this year. When you have like the world level players.
So do we all have, I'm guessing
Arsenal third?
I have Arsenal third.
I have Arsenal third. I just quickly want to land on your point. I think literally maybe like 3-4 weeks ago, I thought Arsenal were like in a position to genuinely like push City all the way. Because I
suddenly
think
in 2 weeks, everything like it's crazy how everyone changes everything. It's like
my only counterpoint to all of this is, so I thought Arsenal, the way that they set up their team is, one, they keep the ball for most of the game. Second, they stop the opposition creating any chances. On the merit of those two things, if you have the ball 8% of the game and the opposition has basically no chances, you should be winning most, if not all, games just because you have 80% of the game to try and score one goal.
Yep.
And you've got the advantage you have the advantage at like in your centre backs, Saliba, Gabriel, to get set pieces. You've got realistically, you're relying on one deflection, one cross, one tapping. You need one goal, and you're so good defensively with Declan Rice, Saliba, Gabriel, like those.
I don't think one goal.
That's the issue with me, though, right? Like, I hear that, but you can play that way if your attackers are elite.
This is exactly what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I think all of that was like, I think you're creating a structure to basically have your team have the best chance of like almost going invincible.
It's the way Pep, what Henry used to say about Pep. He's like, he coaches you the first two, first two phases, and the third phase. Yeah, the first two phases are so perfect that the third phase, you just finish off the chances.
Yes. And I think the front three kind of have almost this burnout and this like a lack of this spark. I think if Arsenal had one player in their front three who could just create something out of nothing, and then they had that structure behind it, invincible. Almost.
I agree, but that's my issue, right? This is where I go back to Liverpool, right? The reason Liverpool, even when they're not playing that well, can bridge those gaps is because they have, and even when they were winning leagues, even more so, they have just magicians that can create something out of nothing.
That can overperform, but like sustainably so.
Yes, and that's why I talk about world level. I don't like using the word world class because there's no definition of it. But when you want to talk about like the best players in the world in their positions, they can create something outside of the system. When the system is failing, when the team's slowing down, when the team's not playing well, when you're not playing well, you can come up with those moments.
You just get them in their right zones.
Thank you. Liverpool have had that with Mane, with Salah, Firmino, Trent, Robertson,
Alisson.
Yeah, Van Dijk and Alisson in their respective positions. And they still have that with four of the best players in the league, in the world. And they still have players too, like Diaz, for example, even when he's not playing a great game, can come up with a moment like that. Yeah. Arsenal, I thought they were going to win the league, and I thought they were going to do really well this season because I preferred the system over the individuals. I thought the system that they played was unbelievable. Yes. But in terms of individuals, I've always thought Martinelli, while he's a great player, a good player, is not world level yet. Jesus, similar. Odegaard, similar. The one player I thought was getting to that level was Saka. Yeah. And I think he's starting to face a burnout, and really, I think opposition defenders are really starting to figure him out. But until, like you said, they kind of find that like world level player that you can kind of just plug into that system, and he can create solutions out of
someone
nothing.
who can basically overperform sustainably.
Yeah,
but that's a question of, but that's a question of going back to what he said. He said the only way we can finish second or first or wherever you have them is Arteta figuring out.
Yeah, the system has to be perfect for Arteta.
But my problem with Arteta, and you the best person to answer, I don't think he's going to do that. I think his stubbornness is going to kill him this season. He is still he's still insisting and persisting on making this Havertz thing work out. If he was,
I don't think it's fair. I see it's too much. point everything on Havertz for the reason why.
No. I'm not, brother. I'm not blaming this on Havertz. I'm not saying I'm not saying this is Havertz's fault. I'm not saying he's the reason why you guys have been losing. I know he's had a nice little run of games where
he scored a few goals. Nice little run of games.
That's fine. Yeah. But your left hand side, Martinelli, for instance. Let's talk about Martinelli. I think he's not been doing well because of this season. It's because of Havertz. So is Arteta going to insist on persisting on what the I just realized.
Bro, you almost had your monologue, you know.
Is he going to insist on playing Havertz, knowing full down that Martinelli is not the same as players last season? But is he going to let his pride away and say, if I don't want to get this wrong. I'm gonna keep doing it for the sake of doing it. I'm gonna risk Martinelli being shit as it is, but I want to be proven right.
I think it's more than just that phase, though. Like I was looking yesterday at the game, and to be fair, this is gonna be counterproductive, I guess, what I'm saying. But like one of the stats that they showed at the beginning of the game is the fastest playing teams in the league and the slowest playing leagues in the team. Liverpool is first, I think, by a mile. The slowest three are Burnley 18th. Arsenal 19th, and actually City are the slowest playing team.
And slowest in how they progress. Yes. So like from keeper to
100%, but I think that's just the way City have always played, to be honest.
Because it's control-based.
Arsenal last season, the way they played was so fluid, and everything was almost like, I used to say, like, they had, like, telepathic relationships on the pitch between Zinchenko, Xhaka, Martinelli, White, Odegaard, Saka. They can make a pass perfectly without even lifting their head. And this season, the whole system, everything just seems so much more slower and heavier.
Thomas Partey not being there, I think, is one of the biggest reasons as well.
But everything just seems more overthought this year with Arsenal. And this is really moments, especially in January, February time, where you need your players to just like come up with solutions on their own. And I for the first time watching this Arsenal team in the last 2 years, I struggled to think, do they have those players? Saka had me convinced he was turning into that.
Oh, Saka,
this year, I look at the game against Liverpool, bro, he got locked up.
Locked
up.
I think half of it is the fact, one, like he's burnt out, tired. Secondly, there's like a focus on just sort of double, triple teaming.
I said that, yeah.
But I can't lie, yo. The last couple games, it hasn't been the triple team, the double team as we've been seeing early this season. Early this season, you can use that excuse and you can use the fatigue and the thing. But the last couple of games, bro, he hasn't been triple team. He hasn't been double team.
One other point I'll add to that is the way that Ben White played, especially like in the very electric, like fluid, like Arsenal of last season.
Ben White, I can't
was this overlapping, underlapping like threat that kind of gave Saka some of the space. I don't know if Arteta's sacrificed that to give.
They're saying he's injured.
Yeah, so I think he is injured, but I don't know if Arteta's sort of playing him in this role because he's injured or because he wants some stability at the back. Either way, that relationship that Saka and White had.
That's the word, right? Relationships. Last year, Arsenal were all about, like I mentioned, the trio on the left, the trio on the right. The relationships were so key to that team. Yeah. And this year, it's like a bunch of players that you almost think like they've never played with each other at this point. The way they're playing right now, it's like 11 players that have never played together.
Because the middle of the pitch has changed.
Maybe.
Everything comes to the middle of the pitch. Everything, you control the middle. It's like, and anything, same as chess. You control the middle of the board, everything works perfectly.
The best player last season
and
in the middle.
And it's changed. The middle of the pitch has changed. Partey and Xhaka are no longer playing for Arsenal.
Man, I love
Granit Xhaka. The whole, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So do I. That's changed. Therefore, everything around it has changed. You can't have a relationship on the wide because something has to link in the middle, Yeah. Trent, Henderson, Salah. You know, like you said, with Ben White, Odegaard, Saka on the other side, it's always that's changed.
To your point, though, let's also not forget the fact that Arsenal have missed so many chances. That's really like they're creating chances too, but they just can't score.
Like yesterday when they played against Liverpool, the first half they were proper. Like I thought they were.
They just can't. They can't finish at this moment.
But yeah, so three of you have Arsenal in third. Obviously, I put Liverpool in third. So I'm interested to see who everyone has in second.
And first, because we must say the first.
Yeah, of course. This is interesting, huh?
You first?
Yeah, go on. You maybe go third first.
Yeah, cool.
You have City in second.
I'll go Liverpool second. Nah! No, yeah, man.
You're a grown ass man hitting you with the nod jokes. Wow.
Gary!
Wow. I have City in first. Nah.
I've got Manchester City finishing second.
Of course you do.
I've got Liverpool. You never walk alone. Finishing first.
I hate this guy, bro. Yeah. You're not making an edit, bro.
he's like, he's trying to think how he's going to start it. He's trying to think how he's going to start it. That tired experience song, bro. Get some new music, bro.
Oh, man. Okay.
What was it me?
So you have City in second.
And Liverpool first.
You have a second.
I have Liverpool in second.
You have a second.
City fan.
So
Also,
Liverpool in
sensible
second.
man. City first.
And I have in second. I have Arsenal.
Oh.
What's that? Oh.
Oh, what? You got
No, I hear that. That's reasonable as well.
Yeah.
you got Arsenal second and City first. Cool. Okay.
Where do we start?
Alright.
We've got 3 guys here who believe City are going to win the league. We have 1 who believes Liverpool's going to win the league.
You know what the moment was for me, right?
Here we go.
When I saw Kevin De Bruyne,
the
when I saw Kevin De
Everyone stay
Bruyne,
quiet.
No, hold on. I don't give a shit. TikTok, that's this guy's.
No, I think you deserve it. Go on.
When I saw Kevin De Bruyne,
No, say, come
nah,
on.
for real. The moment I realized the league is done is when Kevin De Bruyne came on and had that assist for Doku. This guy really has his phone out. Hey, can I take my take off?
You're getting new ankles.
No, you ain't lying, to be fair.
Yeah, the moment that he came on was the moment I knew this guy's crazy, bro.
He's just a fan. He wants to take it home
Yeah,
with
so look, the moment.
him. Yeah.
Yeah, she had his camera.
I actually recorded it, yeah.
It's getting
The
posted.
moment I knew that City, I think we're going to win this league was when Kevin De Bruyne came on and that assist to Doku
That's good.
was just a reminder of everybody that look, this is crunch time for City. This is where the league starts for you guys. The league starts for everybody else. The other 19 teams, it starts in August. Match day 1. For City, it starts match day 19, match day 20.
Always.
Because that's when the players start coming in, and that's when I think Pep kind of locks in on a set formation, on a set style, on his set guys who are going to be the protagonists for that team that year. And from there, it's go time. That's when we're talking to Fernandinho.
I was literally about to bring that up.
Fernandinho was telling us, right, that this is the part of the season for all the other teams where they struggle the most because it's when the games start piling up. The Christmas period kind of finishes up, and you have the Champions League starting in February.
Yeah.
You have the Carabao Cup final, which City usually plays in that period. You have the FA Cup beginning to commence. You're starting to play midweek games in the Premier League.
And every game now is a must win.
Every
the league
game
at that
is
point
must
is a must win. Yeah.
And most of the other teams are not adjusted or used to playing in so many competitions at once.
Yeah.
Manchester City have been there time after time after time after time after time. They are just equipped for this. They're built for it.
Yeah.
And again, when you talk about those world level players, the reason why I have Liverpool finishing above Arsenal this year, but the reason I also have City finishing above Liverpool, Haaland, the best goal scorer on the planet.
Yeah.
De Bruyne, the best creator on the planet.
Yep.
Foden now emerging as like another option for City in that kind of zone between midfield and defense. Yeah. Bernardo, been here, done that. Rodri, been there, done that. John Stones and Diaz. It seems like this part of the season where they almost like lock in and that combination kind of takes shape. So until I really see differently from City, I feel like I'd be a fool to count them out because they've shown us 3 years in a row now and 5 times out of 6 that when the going gets tough in these moments, they're the team for it.
It's a joke.
So I got City winning the league.
I think when you look at Man City, what's important as well is like when the fixtures really pile on, like you're always looking at teams and 1, how they're used to everything, and 2, like their depth. I think with Man City, you've got a cohort of players that have been like tutored by Pep for so many years. You're not going to be learning massively new and in-depth tactics at that point. You kind of know what the basis of your philosophy is, your tactics are, and then you've got this team that kind of generally have an understanding. Obviously, this season we've got new players, Gvardiol, Doku, etc., guys who are obviously learning the system. But you've generally got a team that kind of understands what they need to do most games. On top of that, you've got this depth in like quality rather than like numbers. So Man City have these players. Stones can play centre back, right back, 6. You have Akanji, centre back, right back, left back. Ake, left back, centre back. Foden, both wings, midfield, false 9.
A lot of variety there.
So all of these, like with so many games, you have a need where you don't have to train so hard in the week, and it kind of saves you a little bit for the actual game. And 2, if anyone does get injured, you've still got solutions in the players you have. And Pep's wisdom knows how to play who, where to get that balance, even if you're playing players out of position. So you don't need a squad of 20, 30. You've got a competitive, fresh squad, and you can come up with solutions when that going really gets tough. I think that's like been Man City's strength throughout the seasons, and I think especially like sort of December, January period, you get to see that. On top of that, obviously, you got the natural like killers in defense, in attack. Like I think it just makes total sense for me to see Manchester City kind of excel once we've got a set system, and I don't think we had that early on in the season, but I think now we're sort of getting that.
But it was like that last season
form
as well too, right? Everyone talked about Arsenal's fall off, but the first half of the season, City were like, I always compare it to like basketball. LeBron, like he almost takes the regular season and
Playoffs.
he kind of like experiments and he like figures out what works with his
Game one.
teammates. Yeah, he it's a feel out period. I feel like that's the same with City as well too. Like that first half of the Premier League season now for 2-3 years now, let's discover who we are. Let's try and get the new guys in. Let's gel as a team so that when it is crunch time and the game starts stacking up, we are best equipped to kind of be at our best at that period.
I think we also always have something that kind of like inspires that like change in momentum. We had the allegations, and then like Pep kind of used that to kind of spur us on.
I am not going anywhere.
Yeah, that's so. And then before that, we had like Cancelo leaving, and like he kind of used that as well to like re-inspire the
how
team.
he used the young players, Rico Lewis and Grealish. They're hungry.
Yeah. And then once we use like something to kind
so
of
Rico Lewis and Grealish.
Because Grealish had never won the league in terms of like.
You said the young players. You put them both.
I meant like
Grealish is older than me.
Yeah, you know. Okay, let me rephrase that. In terms of like players who had never really like been key players for City in the past.
Yeah, like you kind of need that fire.
27-year-old.
I meant you know what I meant? I meant more
so.
new players in terms of like players that had never really been in that moment.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm saying it's like the Lingard effect, man.
Yeah.
It's like no, it's like Finn. It's yes.
Yeah. Well, it's cosplaying as a 28-year-old. But it's 40. Go ahead.
25.
Yeah, so
50.
so I think this season, I think De Bruyne.
We get it, guys. On a good day,
70.
Hold on.
Little bit of makeup.
Go ahead. No, my point is basically like I think De Bruyne's reintroduction kind of is that moment, and I think the way that like Klopp's speaking about it, everyone's speaking about it. When and like in the game against Sheffield, when De Bruyne was warming up, he didn't come on that game. He warmed up. The loudest like noise in that stadium was everyone's chanting for De Bruyne when he was warming up. It wasn't he hadn't even come on. I think that's gonna inspire like a pushing momentum, and then you've got a system and a setup with like elite talent. Realistically, like it should be Man City's.
The king is back.
I mean, I have Arsenal second, so I just thought, it's just City are tough to compete with, and all the points you said why I think City will do it, and I'd actually it pains me because obviously I publicly say I'm Premier League over Champions League, right? Then obviously after like for City for example, you've won some in the Premier Leagues that last season you needed that Champions League. At that point, I'd be Champions League over Premier League for City, but
even now I'm back to Premier League.
Yeah, as you should be. You got your Champions League now, but
Full
I think I would like to see us try and make a deep run in the Champions League this year. We're out of the domestic cups now. We're out of the FA Cup. We're out of the Carabao Cup. I think based off just the quality in our squad alone, because Champions League football is different to Premier League football.
Yeah.
It's a lot more open. Suddenly we look a lot more fluid. Everything looks great, easier there than it does in the Premier League.
Yeah.
I think off quality alone, we should be good enough to go through the next 2 rounds. Obviously, Porto we have. It's gonna be every game's tough.
Depends who you
tough.
draw, anyways,
of course.
as well.
Porto now, then depends who we draw the next one. But suddenly, if we go through 2 rounds, we're suddenly in the semi-final. And I think at that point, if we get to the semi-final, I think that's what we're going to really switch on, and we might as well try and win this. Obviously, then the finals in Wembley Stadium, anything can happen, right? So
And by the way, if you're making a deep push in the Champions League, that inspires your Premier League form.
Exactly.
I think fans and how they like influence how the team feels. I think that really matters. I think when we're competing on forefronts as Manchester City, we tend to win a lot because winning like inspires winning. So just one win in the Champions League into the next round. If you're in bad form in the league, it can switch.
It could help
around.
Literally. If we got we got those. We got Porto in February and obviously early March. You never know. At that point in the season, as well, could be crucial, and then that could, like you said, help us in the league. And I think it'll help us and it'll get us, I think, into the top 2. But I would like to see us make a deep run into the Champions League. It's been a while.
I feel like you can.
It's gonna be tough.
Yeah,
I feel like I genuinely feel like we can.
Jesus Martinelli, I think they almost thrive in
Yeah,
that
that's
stage.
what I'm saying.
I tweeted in December. I got cooked for it.
Yeah.
I got cooked for it. I said I would rather, from a Madrid perspective, I'd rather face Arsenal than City. And I tweeted this.
You said you'd rather face City than
rather
Arsenal.
face City than Arsenal, surely.
Yeah.
No.
Why would you get cooked for saying rather face Arsenal than City?
You tweeted you're
I'd
more
rather
afraid
face
of
Arsenal than City in the Champions League.
why would you get cooked for that?
Because every Madrid fan and every City fan is like, have you forgotten what we did to you guys 9 months ago?
You're confused as hell, bro. So then your original tweet was, I would rather
face City.
you as a Real Madrid fan would rather
Who would you
face
wanna play
City
against?
than Arsenal.
Let's break it up. Who do you want to play against?
I would rather
No, just answer my question. Real Madrid, who do you want to play against?
His tweet's on the screen right now, so why are they trying to break it down?
No. Break what down? I said I would rather me as a Madrid fan I would rather face. Oh,
I'm telling you, you can see the gears in his head turning, bro. They're very slow and clunky.
I'd rather face City.
Yes, that's what I'm
The thing is, he acts like we're crazy. That's what he does, bro.
No, I was just playing a little act here. But yeah,
to be an idiot.
It's like what I said, yeah. It's like Liverpool side no one apart from some Muslim.
I'll rather face.
Bro, he's had some dumb moments.
This time he's playing an act. What's the act?
I'd rather face you guys than Arsenal. But I got cooked.
Is that still the case?
I don't know. Of course, your form over the last 4 weeks is reflecting. Maybe I was wrong. And now KDB is back, and you guys are now going up. But I feel like in the Champions League, you guys, I feel like are a bigger threat. I think in Europe, the game has opened up a bit more. We've seen it with your form in the Champions League.
So if you can punish that space, surely they can punish it even more.
Yeah.
I know, but I feel like, I don't know. I feel like you've got players that can be a massive threat in the Champions League. And
I agree, but then if we
I
have...
think that's a ridiculous take.
I know, I got cooked through it, and that's fine.
I think rightfully so.
But I still feel, I'll double down, I don't care. I still feel I would, let's say quarterfinals come time, semi-final come, I don't think I'm as scared to face you guys.
Should we replay the,
last
home
season,
game last season?
I swear to God, last season, it's more about us and Carl and Charlie specifically being hideous than you guys actually.
No, I think
it wasn't that domination as people.
Man, you don't have the ball for like that.
I just think as well too, right? Like Champions League is about intangibles as well, bro. And at this point, City are kind of crafting like a fear factor in the Champions League, where Arsenal. Even when Arsenal are playing at their best, I was saying
fair the unknown of Arsenal because we haven't been in this competition.
I hear that too, but I hear that too, but
because now we've seen you guys.
Yeah,
I've got the experience of seeing.
Hold on.
Was Carlo Ancelotti not playing Tremendous when he's playing a double pivot of Cruz and Modric in 2024? Come on, Carlo Ancelotti next season ain't gonna do that. In 23, Carlo Ancelotti. We lost the game. We lost the game in Etihad because of Carlo Ancelotti. We didn't lose it because of Bernardo Silva. We didn't lose it because you guys were
the best game City played in Pep's.
We lost it. We lost it because of one man.
Valverde literally said, "This is like one of the best atmospheres I've played as against opposition."
Your guy,
like they literally couldn't cope with it. The pressure
because of the manager. Because of the manager gave him no reassurance, no faith. How would I be a reassured if I'm Fede Valverde? Yeah, if I'm Fede Valverde, if I'm Fede Valverde and I'm playing on the right hand side, how am I getting reassured when I look behind and I see a 35-year-old Luka Modric and a 32 in a Champions League semi-final and with no defensive cover? No defensive cover.
Take away the defensive cover. The guys themselves, these genius players, they were misplacing passes because of the pressure they were underneath.
It's different.
And I think, look.
And a 50% Benzema with one leg Vinicius is come on man, get out man with this Man City thing.
We slapped you up, man. We dominated properly.
And anyways,
the season before we slapped you as well.
Do you trust Arsenal to go to the Bernabeu? Hold on, Faisal. Who's more likely to get a result? Arsenal going to the Bernabeu for like the first. None of these guys have ever been on this stage, or City players who have been on this stage numerous times. I'm going to trust City to get a result more than Arsenal at the Bernabeu or at the Allianz Arena or even at Camp Nou, bro.
You're right. That's the most obvious answer. But I feel like, as he mentioned, just them being unpredictable and them being for the first time and I don't know, man.
Sometimes that happens, especially in those kind of competitions.
It's a feeling. By the way,
in those kind of competitions, it happens as a team goes on a deep run, like the Ajax or the Villarreal a couple of years ago, or even Chelsea when they've won some of the Champions Leagues with an unexperienced team. It happens all the time, and I feel like we have the tools to do a deep run. I generally do feel like, and once you get to the semis, it's like that's when you believe you can win it. And then suddenly you're in the final, especially now because it's in Wembley, and we know how to win finals at Wembley. You never know. You generally never know. 1-1 Community Shield. What final have we lost to Wembley? Apart from the Carabao Cup 3-0, what final have we lost to Wembley? Like last 7 years. Okay, give me another one then. Because you know how to you know how to lose at Wembley. You were there a few months ago.
Oh yeah.
Massive Community Shield, bro.
This guy now he's trying to tell me about finals in Europe, though. Tell me about finals in Europe.
We're talking about Wembley.
Oh yeah, Wembley and final in Europe.
Alhamdulillah, it's so good being a Man City.
You lost the Wembley final in Europe.
Hold on. I'm asking you finals in Europe.
Wembley final in Europe.
I'm asking about finals in Europe.
You lost the Wembley final in Europe.
You've never won a final in Europe.
You lost the Wembley final in Europe.
And you've lost every final in Europe. Everyone, whether it's no matter where in Europe you pick, you've lost it.
What's got to do with Premier League?
No, we're talking. No, it's Premier League.
What's it got to do with Premier League predictions?
He's a master deflector, just like Faisal. He's just as famous as his mentor.
But yeah, man, that's interesting predictions, I guess.
So you guys are gonna see it. I got Liverpool.
You have Liverpool to win the league. And we're gonna finish on that because we haven't spoken about are you thinking why Liverpool gonna win the league. So go and have your moment.
I don't know. I just feel like Liverpool fans they are surprised themselves that they are where they are right now. I don't think if you asked every Liverpool fan heading into this season, would you win the league? I would say 80% of them would say, you know what, top 4 is a realistic target.
Yeah, they finished outside top 4 last year.
I feel like the players, Klopp and the players, they weren't expecting where they are right now. Salah said to himself, you know what, he was very close to going to Saudi Arabia. He said, you know what, because of my love to you guys and what you guys have given me, I will stay one more season, and 2024 I'll go Saudi Arabia. Klopp
is that what he said?
I was gonna say,
Where did he say that?
When did he tell you that?
Yeah, where did he say that?
I'm pretty sure
he was. His move to Etihad was confirmed, but the last second he changed his mind because of
the face.
Reliable sources. 2024 he was going to go Etihad.
Okay.
The reason why they signed Endo, they're like, you know what, short term, let's just take it to Jan and see where we are in the league. Now they're first in the league with, like I said, the lack of defensive cover. I say that. The lack of
didn't say that, by the way? Okay.
The lack of defensive cover. And Trent being the form he's at right now, Van Dijk being the form. Van Dijk last season, no one really expected Van Dijk to now enter this season as one of the best, I think the best centre back in the Premier League. Mo Salah maintaining and consistent that performance.
A lot has gone right, yeah.
Kwanzaa
turned out to be a good player.
And with everything going, and with the Robertson injury now looking like they're still first, they're like, you know what, we can actually take it and take it to another level. I felt like the moment that switched for Klopp, as funny as this is, yesterday, 2 days,
the Arsenal game, yeah,
the 2 days of where he said to himself, the kids, yalla come.
Yalla
come. Like,
he said that, by the way. That's a direct quote.
Well, like Clark,
he said that.
A German man, a German guy, a German man saying yalla yalla.
Clark and then man, just go. I've got one target in mind. If you asked him this a couple of months ago, what trophy would you win? I'd rather win the FA Cup because I don't think the league would be a possibility. But now in Jan, if I see Liverpool signing a 6, if I see them sign a right winger,
I think if they sign anyone,
because they're losing their 6 right now.
saying.
They're losing Endo. They're losing Salah, of course.
And shout out to Endo as well.
Yeah, no, he's been very good. He's an experienced player. What I'm saying is, when City inevitably kick into that scary second gear, which they will, of course, and I'm saying when they kick into that, right? So City is a when, Arsenal's a if. So we've seen City do, we haven't seen Arsenal do. But when City kick into that second gear, if Arsenal have a second gear, can Liverpool, with one, at least maybe 2 teams chasing them, maintain that kind of level?
We've seen them.
Or will the pressure get to them?
We've
seen it in the past, but this is different.
We've seen them do it. But I feel like
do you think they can and win it with that kind of pressure? I
feel like the players and their mindset is this is the last dance. I feel like this is the last time we could potentially, as a collective, as a dynasty,
for the old generation,
as an old generation, this is the last.
It's like a halfway.
This is the last time we can actually win the Premier League. I think Salah's mindset. I'm not going to stay here for a long time. I think even there was speculation about Jurgen Klopp heading to the season. Is this going to be his last season? With Trent, 2026 is going to Real Madrid. That's a lot of speculation about this.
Fan fiction. Salah's going here. Trent's going here.
This is for me. I feel the players' mindset. This is our best chance of winning the Premier League. I don't think they had it in mind if you ask them back in August. Now, because they're this far and they're first in the league with all the adversity that's happened against them and everything, I feel like, you know what? We can actually do it. And that mindset is going to push them to finish the league. I don't think they will concentrate on Europa League. I don't think they'll be like, you know what, if the United thing. I don't feel like, let's say come April time and they're first in the league.
Yeah, of course, yeah. They want to win that league. They want to win that second league.
I feel like now...
My thing is, can they maintain when City...
I think they can maintain. I don't think it'll be enough to win the league, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Only one team in the past 6 years have showcased that they can. And they were very close on 2 separate occasions where they lost it in game week 38.
Very close and lost.
And in the game week 38.
Yeah. So I think they can keep up. I do think they can keep up. I think they have guys that are geniuses that can keep winning and keep winning and keep winning. The fans as well, really like special. But I don't think that will be enough.
But those geniuses knows deep down, you know what, this is the last time. Let's give it, rather than giving 100%, let's give it 200%, 300%.
I agree with you.
They were giving 300% before.
Huh?
Before it was 150%. When they lost the league on the last day of the season.
But that's what I mean.
That's tough, man. I feel bad for them.
It's tough for them. But if
2 games away from a quadruple, by the way.
2 games away.
They were John Stones' clearance from invincible Centurions.
Yeah. No, I'm not gonna lie, but it's Liverpool's history. The way
Alhamdulillah for Pep Guardiola,
it's
man. Shout out,
insane.
man. Genius.
Like
Honestly,
none of you,
man.
of course,
Flipping
You saved my life, bro.
neither of you feel sorry.
man.
Neither of you feel sorry for them. But I genuinely do. Like
Well,
it could be,
100%.
it's bro. 2 games away from quadruple that season. You guys
They
were
lost one
losing.
game.
You guys were losing against Villa.
Yeah.
And you guys beat them in the Champions League final.
Oh yeah. that
Those
season
those
as
2
well,
games,
yeah.
they won both cups against Chelsea and on penalties. Those 2 games, if they went differently, that's quadruple.
Yeah.
The John Stones
Beautiful game,
off the line one, bro, it's
lost.
nuts, bro. Another season where they had a 97 points,
Yeah.
would have won the league,
15
which would have won the league
yeah.
any season ever.
15 games.
I love it.
15
I love
games
it.
left. Basically, City needs to drop 1 point. Liverpool need to go and beat.
Ilkay Gundogan number
They won.
6.
They won 15 games in a row
Yeah,
each.
it's
Ah.
50
it's a
games. And
joke.
Liverpool kept winning as well, which is
Yeah,
a joke.
yeah,
Liverpool
yeah.
I
kept.
can't. I still
We could
can't
have if we drew 1 game, we would have lost.
Yeah,
And that's why I feel like for them, they're like, it's redemption now. It's
But
redemption.
I think the team around these geniuses isn't as good as it was. Then.
Facts. I agree with that.
I agree, but they've
And the depth
but
as
they've
well.
managed to compromise and still be top.
so far.
I
But
agree,
the
but
reason
I
why
think
we're doing
it's
this
after
video,
38 games.
the reason why we're doing this video is because the Premier League in the first half of the season is a complete different competition to the Premier League second half of the season. It's different. That's why I was saying, are Liverpool now going to be the same team they were in the first half in the second half with what we know what City are like in the second half of the season? And like I said, if Arsenal's become this like solid team in the second half, that's why I'm asking. And you're saying yes, we're saying no.
I think they can.
There we go.
They can for sure.
Give
I
it,
don't
give
think
it.
they will, though.
But that's under the basis they sign at least.
Who would you sign if you were them? Because it's January. It's tough to find players, huh?
January is always tough. For me, it has to be a 6. I've got a player in mind, but I don't think he will. Palhinha, I think should. I think they
he's
should.
gonna go Bayern.
I think. That's what I think. I think Zubimendi. I think Zubimendi is slapping.
They're
I don't
not
think
signing
he'll go.
Zubimendi in January.
But
I'll
that's
see
what I
that.
said.
No,
But that's
that's
what
you're
that's
saying
what's
you
unrealistic.
think Liverpool are going to win the league, so you must have a DM you think they will sign. Who is that DM you think they'll sign?
No.
He just thinks any.
I think they should sign any defensive. No one expected Endo to be there, but I feel like having a defensive cover helps with the protection and even the build up. Even I think Endo is actually not bad in terms of
Yeah,
ball-
he's been
in
good.
terms of ball playing. But I feel like if they sign a defensive cover and if they sign, they need to sign a forward. I don't think Liverpool can win the league if they've got Darwin Núñez as a
I agree. but-
as a
First-choice striker.
as a
No,
first choice
I
striker.
agree, but that's where I ask you if you think they're going to win the league. That must mean that you think someone is coming in. That's why I ask you who would
At
you.
the moment, I don't know who's coming in, but I feel like if they stay as it is right now with no signings, they're not winning the league. But if they figure out, let me get a 6. I don't know who the 6 is, but let me get a 6 and let me get a forward and even any sort of defensive cover because I trust Konate to be healthy from Jan to June. I don't Matip, he's now out from an ACL. Joe Gomez, yes, this little purple patch. Is he going to continue that purple patch? I don't know. If they sign those players,
So you're saying they're going to win the league based on a lot of ifs.
based on
Well,
what?
then we
Two
all know.
A
signings.
lot of things is a lot.
So
of
it's
things.
two signings.
All right, I mean, we've got our predictions. Quick last thing. How big or small do you think the gap will be between the top 3?
I think Arsenal will be closer than people are saying. Like,
I still think it's 3 horses. Like I don't think.
yeah,
it's,
exactly. I agree
yeah,
as
it's
well.
not-
I think
it's not them
Arsenal,
two and
Arsenal will pick
Arsenal.
up their form, of course. If people are acting now like the world is on fire
No,
for
no,
Arsenal,
no,
everyone
no, no,
stinks,
no,
the
no,
manager,
no.
he's under pressure now. Arsenal will be there in and around those positions, but I think the gap. I would say 7 points between first and
and third.
Arsenal. Yeah. 7 to 8 points.
Can I ask you before to end it? If Arteta finishes the season trophyless, what's your stance?
Trophyless, but what? You have to give me context. Trophyless, but we
All right.
we came to the final
Okay.
of Champions League and came second. That's trophyless.
Okay,
Or
I'll tell
trophyless as
you.
we went out to Porto, came fourth. What trophyless? A different type of
I'll tell you. You finished third.
Okay,
and-
third, but how? Like close third? There's context.
It's a
There's
valid
different types of
question. No,
trophyless.
you're right,
Alright,
you're
cool.
right.
Different types of- give me-
Third
give me a
United came
scenario.
third last season.
Yeah,
Like,
give me a scenario. We could be 15 points behind first. They came third.
Your let's say double digits.
From first. Hey, double digits. Hey. Double digits behind second or first?
Double digits behind second.
Now you're making an unrealistic scenario.
Okay,
bro.
first. Okay,
Double digits behind
Is
second.
that unrealistic to say they could finish 10 points behind City? Or was it 10
Behind
points
second,
behind
he's saying.
10 points behind second? I don't think that's
I think it's unrealistic.
great.
That means
I don't
that means-
think it's going to happen, but I don't
Okay,
think it's
okay.
Go on, give me your scenario
here's
then, when you
scenario,
finish
okay.
the video.
Let's say finish third. Double digits behind first.
Okay.
And quarterfinals, you lose against Real Madrid. You lose against Manchester City. You lose against Bayern.
Yeah.
What's your expectation heading into the next season with Arteta?
Compete for the league.
Is he the man to take you?
I think if we bring someone else in, everyone wants to bring someone else in. Everyone always wants to bring someone else in. It's always shinier. The toy you're looking at in the shop always looks shinier than the one you've had for like a few years. But sometimes it doesn't work better. Sometimes it's not better for you. I think we're more likely to degress than progress if we get another manager now, because there's no one out there I think that's going to be. And I like probability, and I think probability-wise we're better off sticking with our term. That's my answer to you.
It's until the fans lose faith in
That's all it is.
Basically,
I think yeah.
That dictates it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The second the fans, or he loses the dressing room.
Some sections now are starting to lose.
Twitter.
No.
Brother, I go to get. I'm a match go fan.
SDS man.
SDS men have always been against.
Who's Arsenal?
There were
Ren Stars and Ilias.
I support Arteta more than the SDS guys.
I don't take them seriously, bro.
There
I'm a bigger Arteta
boos
fan than
last
Ilias
game,
and
though.
those guys.
There were boos just this last game against Liverpool.
Yeah.
But I think
Of course, it's unacceptable losing at home. That's fine.
But I don't think it's reasonable.
Yeah, I think if you were to ask 100 people outside the Emirates,
they will say
Arteta in or Arteta.
We lost the league last season in a terrible way.
But it's different. It's
No,
different.
I'm saying,
No one
no.
expected that.
What I'm
That
saying
was
is we lost the league,
expectation.
but regardless, it was still no one expected going into it. But regardless, end of the season, we're there, so we got to win the.
Yeah.
We lost the league in a terrible way. Last game of the season against Wolves, Arteta gave his speech. The way the fans, we all responded to him. I was like, this is the man.
Yeah.
So we're not going to lose faith in him anytime soon. So yeah, that is the end of the video. Leave your comments below your top 6 predictions. I'd love to see yours. It hurt me to not put Arsenal first, but you never know. That's at this point in a couple months' time, suddenly we might be favourites again. Like, that's how crazy football is. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed me and the last couple of videos as well. Feel free to send him your support, send him your tweets, messages, whatever, what you thought of him. And I would love to have you back on, bro.
Thanks.
Definitely love to have you back on. And
Watch along Madrid and City.
let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, and guys, we'll see you guys soon. Bye.